Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So last time we were discussing about this fifth chapter verses. We discussed about King Gaya's rule, how he was, despite ruling, but he had all the good qualification of a devotee. And then we entered into the how a devotee works only for the sake of purification of his heart. Hmm. And then we discuss about doership. Who is the doer? That we discussed elaborately last time, right? Then now today, uh, so today we will go to verse number 17. Yeah, verse number 17 today. So we are beginning a new section today of this third section of this chapter. This section is from 17th to 26th verse. This section is from 17th verse to 26th verse. It talks about equal vision. Okay. Okay. So please read ahead. Read the shloka. Recite.
Will anyone there can read for now?
17. Yes. What he said, it deals with Yes. Tadbuddhayastadaatmanas
तन्निष्ठास्तत्परायणाः
गच्छन्त्य
पुनरावृत्तिम् ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषाः.
When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. Purport: the supreme transcendental truth is Lord Krishna. The whole Bhagavad Gita centers around the declaration that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. That is the vision, that is the version of all Vedic literature. Paratattva means the supreme reality, who is understood by the knowers of the supreme as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Bhagavan, or the supreme personality of Godhead, is the last word in the absolute. There is nothing more than that. The Lord says, Matta Paratram Nanyat Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya. Impersonal Brahman is also supported by Krishna. Brahmano hi pratishtha. Therefore, in all ways, Krishna is the supreme reality. One whose mind, intelligence, faith, and refuge are always in Krishna, or in other words, one who is fully in Krishna consciousness, is undoubtedly washed clean of all misgivings and is in perfect knowledge in everything concerning transcendence. A Krishna conscious person can thoroughly understand that there is duality, simultaneous identity and individuality in Krishna, and equipped with such transcendental knowledge, one can make steady progress on the path of liberation.
Yeah, so this section, the third section of this chapter, it is describing how a yogi, he fixes his mind on the Supreme, and because he fixes on his mind on the Supreme, his life is transformed because of that. So, what do you mean by fixing our mind on Supreme? That involves also tolerating the temptations of our senses and also redirecting our pleasure from our propensity for matter to spirit. Means rather than taking pleasure in matter, one tries to take pleasure in spirit. So rather than taking pleasure outside, one tries to take pleasure inside ourselves. So that is called as so that is the described in this particular section, liberation by focusing on the super soul. So now this verse, Krishna tells about anybody who focuses on super soul, he it leads to liberation. So we see that it is not sufficient. It is not sufficient just to know that I am not this body, spirit, soul. That is not just a sufficient thing. Hmm. Actually, one has to also go ahead in one's life and understand that one has to focus oneself on the Supreme Lord. Because we see that there are certain type of transcendentalists, they also know hum Atma hai, but they don't have any positive knowledge of Supreme Lord. They don't have knowledge of Paramatma. So that is not complete knowledge then. That is only partial knowledge. But when one so the first step of spiritual knowledge is that to understand I am different from this body, and then that is called as mode of goodness. When a person in mode of goodness, he generally understands this concept that I am different from this body. But after that, one has to go further ahead, and one has to understand that one I had to fix myself on Supreme Lord. Then liberation is possible. Without fixing ourselves on Supreme Lord, even though one may know I am not this body, still that there can't be any liberation. So when we learn this, that Lord is impartial, and we fix our intelligence on the Lord, on the quality of super soul, then as Prabhupada is mentioning, all sins are destroyed, we become purified, and ultimately we transcend this material world. So Krishna, he is the source of all enlightenment. As we know in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hai andhakar, jaha Krishna taha nahi Maya radhikar. Now, the best way, and one can say the only way to really drive away all the ignorance is actually sunlight. Other lights may be there, but they cannot drive away all the darkness. So we may see that sometimes our tubes are there. It may drive away a little portion of darkness in the room in the night, or street lights may be little more. Even moon cannot enlighten the entire area. There is still some darkness here and there. But we see that when the sun comes, the kind of amount of light it provides is that all the darkness is dispelled. Similarly, when one may get little knowledge here, there, that okay, how this material world functions, one may get some knowledge about it, and some ignorance may be may go away, you know, and it is helpful to some extent. Like for example, somebody doesn't know anything about corona, then he may commit some mistakes, and because of that he may undergo some sufferings. So if somebody knows how this corona is, how it spreads, what are its symptoms, then he can be more he can take more precautions, he will be more cautious, and he'll avoid a lot of troubles in his life. But still, by knowing this one knowledge doesn't mean that he can be totally free from all the troubles, right? There will still some other troubles will be there, there will be job problem, or apart from corona there are so many other diseases. There may be economic problem, there may be too much rain, you know so like that, so many other things are there, mental problems like that. So different types of knowledge enlightens us at different level, but when the knowledge is actually, when one gets the knowledge of Supreme Lord, it enlightens us fully. There is a full enlightenment. Just like when the sun is there, there is no darkness at all. Similarly, when one gets the knowledge of Lord, when one understands Lord, then there is no ignorance at all. And in this way, one can be free from all the encumbrances, from all the troubles of life. So that's why, it is very important that person should cultivate the knowledge of Supreme Lord in his life, and not just other knowledges. Other knowledges will help to some extent. Even the spiritual knowledge, if it is not directed towards the directly Supreme Lord, that will also help to only certain extent. But the knowledge of Supreme Lord can eradicate all ignorance from our heart, and then we can be very happily situated. Okay, next verse is very famous verse, 18th.
Yes. Hare Krishna. विद्या विनय संपन्ने
विद्या विनय संपन्ने
ब्राह्मणे गविहस्तिनि
ब्राह्मणे गविहस्तिनि
शुनि चैव स्वपाके च
शुनि चैव शुपाके च
Pandita Samadarshina.
Pandita Samadarshina.
The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. Purport. A Krishna conscious person does not make any distinction between species or castes. The Brahmana and the outcast may be different from the social point of view, or a dog, a cow, and an elephant may be different from the point of view of species, but these differences of body are meaningless from the viewpoint of a learned transcendentalist. This is due to that relationship to the Supreme. For the Supreme Lord, by his plenary portion as Paramatma, is present in everyone's heart. Such an understanding of the Supreme is real knowledge. As far as the bodies are concerned, in different castes or different species of life, the Lord is equally kind to everyone because he treats every living being as a friend, yet maintains himself as Paramatma regardless of the circumstances of the living entities. The Lord as Paramatma is present both in the outcast and in the Brahmana. Although the body of a Brahmana and that of an outcast are not the same. The bodies are material productions of different modes of material nature, but the soul and the super soul within the body are of the same spiritual quality. The similarity in the quality of the soul and the super soul, however, does not make them equal in quantity. For the individual soul is present only in that particular body, whereas Paramatma is present in each and every body. A Krishna conscious person has full knowledge of this, and therefore he is truly learned and has equal vision. The similar characteristic of the soul and the super soul are that they are both conscious, eternal, and blissful. But the difference is that the individual soul is conscious within the limited jurisdiction of the body, whereas the super soul is conscious of all bodies. The super soul is present in all bodies without distinction.
Yeah. So now, person last verse we saw that how the person who focuses on supreme is enlightened. Okay. So now question maybe what is the vision of a person who is enlightened in this way? How he looks towards the people and objects of this world. So that is explained in this verse by Krishna. So as is described in this verse, uh, the true knowledge is refers not only to understand the difference between matter and spirit, but also knowing the super soul, which we discussed for previous verse also. So what does the learned person sees? He sees that super soul has impartially sanctioned desires of all living entities, regardless of their present karmic reactions. So, so that's how a devotee learns to see equality in everyone. Now, this whole theme of this verse is what? The theme is equality of vision. A self-realized soul can see everything and everyone equally. In material world, we can see that there are two basic, Prabhupada is mentioning there are two basic uh, platforms of differentiation on mundane platform. One is species. One discriminates, oh, this is dog, this is elephant, this is uh, this is bird. So this is species. And amongst human beings, there is a discrimination based on castes, nationalities, colors, gender. All these are the mundane discriminations are there. But the self-realized soul, he understands that this is only on a bodily platform, whereas body is only the covering. It is like just like somebody is wearing red dress, another one is wearing yellow dress, third one is wearing white dress. But we don't just because somebody is wearing red dress, we don't discriminate him out, right? It is like not such a critical thing. Whatever color dress person may be wearing, we don't consider it to be very critical. Similarly, the person who is self-realized, he sees everyone's different bodies to be like different dresses, and he doesn't take it so critically. He tries to see the presence of spirit soul. So what is the basis of equal vision of a self-realized soul? So first part of equal vision is to see that everybody is spirit soul apart from this body, and the quality of spirit soul in everyone is same. Although everybody is an individual spirit soul, but still everybody is Satchidananda spirit soul. Everybody is pure by nature. Everybody is pure. There is nobody who is, by nature impure, or originally nobody is impure. So that is first one basis of this equality, that everybody is a pure spirit soul of same quality. So just like, one sees that, okay, as soon as one sees one's brother or sister, one develops special affection for them. And if we see others brothers, other people, we don't have that much affection. Why? Because yeah, because common father is there, so he is my brother. But then spirit realized soul also understand this is second level of equality, is that we are all children of same father. So just like one would have affection for one's brother, similarly one has affection for everyone. Why? Because Krishna is the common father of all. Then third one is that super soul is present in everybody's heart. Is third understanding of equality in everyone. So we see we have so much equality, so much similarity amongst ourselves, isn't it? So third one is what? Super soul is personally present in everybody's heart. That is another understanding of equal vision. So directly the Lord is present, and he treats everyone as friend. So nobody is enemy of the Lord. So if everybody is friend of the Lord, means if I love the Lord, means he has to my friend also. I cannot say you, I like you, but I don't like your friend. Then what kind of friendship is this? So, regardless of what are the bodies and circumstances and activities of living entities, the self-realized soul can see that so Paramatma is present, and he treats everybody as friend. And the fourth one is what? Fourth one is that bodies of everyone are the products of different modes of material nature. So basic ingredients of everybody's what? Three modes of material nature. And this Prithvi, Aap, Jal, Tej, Vayu, it's like, it's same only for everyone. Just like the, mother may make some atta from that, some chapatis are there. Some chapatis are given to this person, some chapatis are given to that person. But everything ultimately made from same atta only, right? So same way, everybody's bodily constitution is ultimately coming from same mother. So in this way, we all have same mother and same father. On a material level, mother is Durga Devi, father is Shiva. Or on ultimate spiritual level, it's Radha and Krishna, like that. So these are the ways. So we can see how much similarity is there amongst each other. So in this way, a self-realized person, he learns to see everybody from the equal vision, and it is such an important thing that because of this understanding, he doesn't hate anybody. He doesn't feel disgusted with anybody. He doesn't develop enmity towards anybody. So because this vision is, that's why so important for everyone. So when person has got that type of vision, then he is called as very fortunate soul. So such a person is humble sage. Why he is called as humble sage? Because he has that humility to see that, everybody is simply a part and parcel of Lord. I am not the person to judge anybody. Everybody is being provided for, taken care of by Supreme Lord. So I have no rights to judge. In this way, he becomes humble. He sees everybody on an equal level. So in general, we see this is the way. Actually, this is the formula for universal brotherhood. In one sense, you can say one of the formula. This is for universal brotherhood. What is that? To see everybody on equal vision. Don't make discrimination. So in the beginning, we see that the child, he has got very selfish vision. You see, the most selfish person in the whole world is child. Isn't it? It's very selfish. Doesn't care for anybody. Whatever it wants, it will cry and get it. Isn't it? A baby. When the child grows, then he has some sense that my mother is there. He he loves mother. Then slowly he loves father. Then he starts loving siblings. Then eventually when they grow, they may love their caste people or relatives and castes. Eventually they may love their own state. Jai Maratha, Jai Maharashtra, Jai Tamil Nadu, Jai Andhra, like that. Jai Punjab. People may love their state. When his vision broadens further, he may love nation only. He may say, "Oh, Bharat Mata ki jai, Pakistan Pita ki jai, whatever, China Mata ki jai," or whatever. Most of them are matas only. It says America, China, all are female names, isn't it? So they may say, jai for their country. But when the vision goes further, person may love all humanity, and he may say that, oh, all human beings are my brothers and sisters. So then they want to make universal brotherhood, but still that universal brotherhood is incomplete. How? Prabhupada is to always condemn that type of universal brotherhood also.
Animals are slaughtered.
Yeah, exactly. We are disregarding animals. So people are saying, oh, we are all brothers and sisters. But then they are killing animals. Like this Vivekananda, he went to Chicago and he called all these Americans, my dear brothers and sisters. And everybody clapped hands. See how he's seeing all the people, although we are Americans, still he's seeing us as his brothers and sisters. They are clapping. But what about what about Murgi? Is he not brother? So that's why that is incomplete, because they are not able to see other living entities. So now person may say that, but they are all, they are all low, we all human beings are very great, we are all higher species. These are all low species. So why should we consider them as brother? So what is your answer? They are low species. They are meant to be killed. We can't torture them, kill them. Human beings are all important people of the world. So what is the answer?
We can see that they respond as humans respond in painful situations.
Their responses, they also have emotions. They also have feelings of pain and pleasure, isn't it?
They also are conscious.
They are also conscious beings. So how we can reject them? Very good answer. Any other answer?
If we have any dumb or lame brother and sister, so we can't reject them. So we also, like, if we hurt them, then father may or father mother they get,
Yes,
they will
this is
become.
exactly what Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says what? See, if if your younger brother is handicapped, so if you say that I can kill him or he is less intelligent, बेचारा वाइडी हो रहा है, बार बार. So can I say, my dear father anyways is useless, he's getting YD, can I kill him? Or he is anyways handicapped only. Anyways he's useless, I don't want it. क्या है बेचारा हैंडीकैप, कुछ घर के लिए कुछ काम नहीं कर नहीं पाएगा, पैसा नहीं कमा पाएगा, कुछ नहीं कर पाएगा, तो क्यों उसको जिंदा रखना है? अननेसेसरी खा रहा है, सिर्फ मुंह खा रहा है, हाथ पैर से कुछ काम नहीं कर रहे, तो उसको मार देते हैं, isn't it? If if somebody says like this to father, will father ever allow? He will ever agree? He will say no. He said, who are you to say this? He said, I am maintaining him. You have no rights to say like this. You cannot do like this. तुम अपना देखो. Don't try to kill him. Isn't it? He is YD. Whole life he may become YD. Still I will maintain him. Father will say, who are you to say like this? Isn't it? So, or he's handicapped, I will provide for him. I will give some property for him to maintenance. So father will never agree. Same way, all the living entities are children of God. And just because some living entities are poor, they have got some different types of bodies, one has no rights to kill them or torture them. So that's why this shloka is very, very important shloka. Then, similarity in quality of the soul and super soul, but that doesn't mean that soul and super soul make equal in quantity in all respects. How? Because individual soul is present only in one particular body. The super soul is present in all the bodies. So that's a big discrimination between soul and super soul. Of course, this will come again further in 13th chapter. Kshetrajam Kshetrajnam Chamapati Mavidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. Now one may say, so Okay, so we see equal vision, but then you people say that cow should not be killed. Cow should be given special protection. Hmm. So that's what we are also saying these days. Okay, you people are saying, why don't you people allow sweepers or any other person to enter into altar? You are saying that a learned person, that means you are also foolish, you are also not learned. You are not allowing any person to enter into altar. You say only pujari should enter into altar, and then you say cow protection. Why not donkey protection? You are focusing so much in your farm communities and all that. We don't see donkeys or dogs or rabbits or birds being protected. In fact, you give cows so nice food and all that, and donkey you don't give anything. So where is your equality?
We have to respect person according to his position. It's like dog is there, then we will not keep him in home. We'll give him some chapati or like that.
Hmm.
Like that, some qualifications required for these services. Also.
Yeah, very true. This is another very important point because people will catch us in this. Uh, Externals have it to be done on the basis of external discriminations. So if you have read and heard Prabhupada books or lectures, Prabhupada speaks about this. Just because person is spirit soul doesn't mean that a tiger comes and you embrace him. My dear tiger, you are also spirit soul. No, he will kill you, isn't it? So external discrimination has to be done because for external dealings, but that doesn't sanction any torture. So it is not that the mosquito, poor fellow is there, so we can kill him. No, we cannot kill. But that doesn't mean that we can say that mosquito is also living entity. So let us, create one nice water pond wherein all dengue mosquitoes will grow. You know, no, because the external dealings are required. So cow is a animal which is in mode of goodness, and also it is so useful for human society. Not only useful, you can say it's worshipable because it is loved by the Lord. So there is special position of cow. But that doesn't mean that we want to kill dog or we want to kill dog. But dog, because it is the animal in mode of ignorance, so dog has to be kept outside home, and he can be given some food to eat like that. So recently in our temple, lot of cats were there. So many cats, two cats were there, and then they brought some, they preached, I think so, and they brought some more cats. In this way, temple is filled with cats actually these days. And so these cats, here also we see in voice so many cats. So they uh, they eventually became very, because devotees out of compassion they started giving them some prasadam from kitchen, but eventually they became so courageous that they were entering kitchen only. Then devotees temple management decided abhi bahut ho gaya because so then they said that, then they put a big notice on notice board in ashram that lot of cats are there, they can eat that. Just like we are giving to devotees the, I was so laughing. Just like we tell to devotees आप ऐसा कर सकते हैं, वैसे वो cats को बता रहे आपको खाना है तो rats खा लो, इधर नहीं मिलेगा कुछ. It was very funny notice. They can eat some rats around. So one में से अरे आप ब्रह्मचारी को अलाउ करते किचन में और कैट को कैसे अलाउ नहीं करते? External dress only, because we cannot deal on equal vision, but a devotee internally sees them as spirit soul, and what is the result of that? He works for the welfare of everyone, and he doesn't become the cause of trouble for anyone. These are the two things actually are the result of seeing equal vision, not that one treats everybody equally. No, the sannyasi and an ordinary person have to be treated differently, because the sannyasi's elevation is there, and whereas ordinary person is not that elevated. Similarly, a person who may not be Brahman initiated, he cannot be allowed to enter into altar because he's sometimes, that's why, one may say, no, there should be equal rights. No equal rights. This is not equal rights. Because, why? Because no equal rights? Because bodily we are different. It is a fact. You cannot make artificial equality everywhere. right? You cannot make everybody artificially equal. Can man and woman become artificially equal? This is also a problem. People say no discrimination should be between man and woman, but you, that will be again artificiality. That is another extreme. One extreme is that make too many discriminations and torture people. You know, if you are man, torture all women. If you are Brahmana, torture all Shudras. You know, you are white, you know, kill all the blacks, make them into slaves. This, you know, very cruel discrimination. Now the world is going towards another fanatism. So what is that another fanatism? Everybody is equal. But on what level? Bodily level, they are making everybody equal. Nowadays, Matajis are also wearing jeans and t-shirt, you know, as if they are equal with men. But it is not. Prabhupada is to say it is not never possible. Can man ever become pregnant? You know, no. Woman will become pregnant, isn't it? Prabhupada, you know, when one girl asked Prabhupada that Swamiji, why you are saying that man and woman are different? They are same only. Prabhupada said, Prabhupada in the beginning tried to explain, yes, on the spiritual level they are equal, but on the external level, body level, they are different. And that's why the difference will be there. You know, you cannot equal them on bodily level. No, that lady was not agreeing. Prabhupada said, see, you are a woman. In the dead of the night, if I catch your hand and drag you, who can save you? Prabhupada said, if I can drag you, who will save you? You know, but you know, one man, he can go in the night anywhere. Can a woman go like this? You know, isn't it? You know, how many times we see that the women are exploited, isn't it? So there are so many such. So there is a physically difference is there between different bodies, isn't it? The tiger and the rabbit both are physically same. No, there is a difference. You know, you can nicely pat also rabbit sometimes, isn't it? But can you pat tiger? Only Bharat he could do. There was one Bharat Maharaj. You know, he could count the teeth also in the tiger's mouth. Shakuntala's son, Dushyanta and Shakuntala's son. So he could do that, but not everybody could do that. Similarly, who was that? Another one was very like this. Sarang Murari.
Yes.
He would also go and catch tigers and he would dance with them sometimes. He would catch crocodiles. Huh?
Jharikanda.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also could make Jharikanda forest hills. So these are very extraordinary souls. They can do, but we cannot do ordinary person, isn't it? So the bodily discrimination is a fact and it cannot be denied, and nobody can make anybody equal on bodily level. So that's how, and body and even psychology, even terms of conditioning, there is a difference. That's why people have to be treated differently. So people used to say that you have to allow anybody and everybody to come in the altar. No, that is not possible because this person is not purified. Those days, you know, because certain class of people, they used to live a very unclean life. So how they can be allowed in the altar? So on one side that was there, but that doesn't mean that the people who is in the altar, he should torture one who is, you know, outside altar. He should not torture that person just because he may not be allowed into altar. That is okay, but that person in the altar, he should do welfare of that person. How? By giving him holy names, by giving him prasadam. He may not allow him to come inside altar, but he should give him holy names. He should give him prasadam. He should give him sadupadesh. You know, he should show. You know, he should give him darshan of the Lord. In this way, he should serve him, and then that is a perfect balance. So he's seeing him as a spirit soul, but he knows that on a bodily level he is contaminated, so he cannot come inside altar. But as a spirit soul, is part and parcel of Krishna. So he doesn't hate him. He doesn't want to torture him. In fact, he wants to do welfare for him. So this is how the balance concept is given actually in the Vedas. But these fanatic people not understanding this balance properly, they have done such, my God, so much trouble in the society. And this is not only in India. Sometimes people criticize India for this kind of discrimination, but never fall under the, you know, such false propaganda by these, you know, rascals, you know, who are from West, or, you know, that Indians are torturing, you know, others, you know. See, Indians have tortured. Yeah, we agree that there was some kind of torture was there, casteism and all that. But then kind of torture these whites have done for blacks. Now also something was going on recently, right? But previously, my God, if you read Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's biography, such a amount of torture. They are shipped from Africa to America. So people died. 50% of them died only in the ship only.
Like animals.
They are practically being treated like animals. So is that not discrimination they are doing? Hmm. Isn't it? Then similarly, if they are saying that Indian women were treated as subordinate. What about Christianity? You know, when Christianity came, they were raped and tortured because their philosophy was that woman doesn't have soul. That is not Indian philosophy. Nowhere in Hindu religion ever anybody will believe. It was Christianity who said that woman does not have soul. And then apart from that, uh, this they accused many women of being witches. I can give you the entire account. I had a book. I couldn't get it here, but there an entire account is written of how women were tortured. They are practically, they were suspected that this is witch, this is witch, this is witch. So all women who did not accept Christianity, basically they were turning them, calling themselves as witch, and then they used to rape them and used to torture them so heavily. They would tie them upside down, and they would poke them with sharp this thing, nails and all that. Such torture, it's unimaginable torture. So these are the people who have done worse. Where in India we see that such kind of things have happened. You know, these are worst thing they have done. Similarly in Islam, my God, there is so much torture is there about. Others, there is no need of mentioning it also. So these kind of tortures have been existing because of being overly bodily conscious. But then another now is that people are becoming so arrogant, in the name of equality, whether because they are trying to make equality on bodily level. So but what is a balanced understanding? Balanced understanding is that we are equal on spiritual level. So on spiritual level we learn to love everyone, we love to respect everyone, we should respect women, we should not discriminate between this caste and that caste. Actually we see that that's how Srila Prabhupada, he has made actually united worlds, because there is no difference, as Srila Jayapataka Maharaj also says in that video, no, कोनो कोनो राष्ट्र भेद, कोनो जाति भेद, कोनो देश भेदा भेद नहीं. And what is it? এই আছে यूनाइटेड नेशंस और स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड, अंतरराष्ट्रीय
Krishna Bhavana.
नहीं spiritual united nations, he says something, say this is the United Nations of spiritual world. And then everybody claps, and Hari Bol. So that's the real thing actually Prabhupada made. He made actually everyone united. So he understood this one, proof of Vedic cultures. So it was everything. So there is a lot of account about Christianity over there. Maybe later on we can send him these paragraphs about it. So then, what I was telling, so there is a equality on the soul platform. So we understand everybody to be equal, spiritually. So we respect everyone. As a devotee, we should never hate any particular caste. We should never hate, discriminate any particular this thing, uh, sex or any particular species. We should never hate anybody. So and we should always try to work for the welfare of everyone. We should always try to work for the welfare of everyone. But at the same time, one should not also be on other side. So one should also learn to understand, because there are bodily differences. So when practical dealings are there, there will have to be some discrimination. There will be some differences. So not that a devotee should not say, means Prabhuji devotee should not say, oh, all Matajis are spirit souls, so I can preach to them, I can take care of them. No, Mataji devotee should take care of Mataji devotees, Prabhuji devotee should take care of Prabhuji devotees, because just because, we are all souls, oh, why are you seeing them on bodily platform? There is no distinction bodily. Okay, sir, but then are you that much self-realized? Are you that much powerful? Even great people, they couldn't also control themselves, isn't it? So that's how one should not try to imitate this type of vision also prematurely. That is very important. So so that's how we see that Srila Prabhupada, but he has actually made these United Nations. In Calcutta, at I think in Jaludutta festival, there was a Guinness Book of World Records, I think. How many countries?
103.
103 countries people came together, and they are all devotees. How blissful, isn't it? I don't know if some video is available. We want to see that. It's there. My God, so nice to see devotees from all countries coming, isn't it? When you go Gaur Purnima time, Mayapur, you can see actually devotees from all countries practically. There are devotees from Taiwan, there are devotees from Congo, There are devotees from, Nigeria and all such countries, Sweden and Norway and all these places we can even imagine, Argentina and Chile and all these countries. So this is how called as, this is the non-discrimination. This is a practical this thing. So Prabhupada gave opportunity for Krishna consciousness for everyone. But at the same time, we understand that there will be bodily differences. So he made Mataji should sit separately, Prabhuji should sit separately. It is not that both sit together. Similarly, he said that, okay, there are Brahman initiated can enter the altar. Cow should be protected. Dogs can be given food outside. So these practical dealings also Prabhupada taught us how to deal in a different manner. So this is a very important verse and it should be very properly understood. One should not take either of the extreme stands in this. One extreme stand is to discriminate wholesale everybody and torture others. Another extreme stand is this, seeing bodily equality and try to make everybody artificially equal. Similarly, we can see that Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they cannot be equal on a physical level. There is a discrimination. Brahmana is more intellectual, Kshatriya is more physical, Vaishya is more, different way. So there are Brahmana is in mode of goodness, Kshatriya is in passion, Vaishya is in passion plus ignorance, Shudra is in ignorance. So we see that their conditionings are different. So we cannot say artificially they are equal on a bodily platform like that. So that this is how the whole thing should be balanced approach should be there. I hope this is clear. Okay, so let's discuss next verse.
ईहैवतैर्जितः सर्गो
इहैवतैर्जितः सर्गो
येषां साम्ये स्थितं मनः
येषां साम्ये स्थितं
निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म
निर्दोषः हि समं ब्रह्म
तस्मात् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थिताः. Translation: Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. Purport: Equanimity of mind, as mentioned above, is the sign of self-realization. Those who have actually attained to such a stage should be considered to have conquered material conditions, specifically birth and death. As long as one identifies with his body, he is considered a conditioned soul. But as soon as he is elevated to the stage of equanimity through realization of self, he is liberated from conditional life. In other words, he is no longer subject to take birth in the material world, but can enter into the spiritual sky after his death. The Lord is flawless because he is without attraction or hatred. Similarly, when a living entity is without attraction or hatred, he also becomes flawless and eligible to enter into the spiritual sky. Such persons are to be considered already liberated, and their symptoms are described below.
Yeah. So this sameness and equanimity can be experienced on the platform of Brahman and Paramatma realizations of Krishna consciousness. So unless and until you see this Brahman realization or Paramatma realization is there, one cannot see this sameness. So this person who is Brahman realized or Brahmavadi, what he sees everything is situated in Brahman. Because what is the aphorism? Anybody knows the aphorism? Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. Everything is Brahman as such. It is true. Everything is situated in Brahman. Everything is the portion of Brahman, isn't it? Actually, there is nothing exists except for Brahman, because that is one sense true. So because he sees that everything is situated in Brahman, we see that Brahma Jyoti is coming from Supreme Lord, and all the spiritual worlds and even material world, they're all situated in Brahma Jyoti, because without Brahma Jyoti nothing can exist. So in this way, there is a equanimity. Paramatmavadi, what he sees that super soul is present in everybody's heart. That's how he sees equanimity. So Brahmavadi sees equanimity because everything is situated in Brahman, everything is made up of Brahman. So original substance of everything is Brahman only, isn't it? So everything is a transformation of Brahman in different ways. So that is Brahmavadi. But Paramatmavadi says that super soul is there in everybody's heart and is impartially sanctioning the karmic reactions of all living entities. He sees that, and in this way he sees everyone equally. Then so Paramatmavadi, such a Paramatmavadi is undisturbed because he understands that everything is happening by Lord's will. So even though there may be different situations of different living entities, they may be undergoing, but a Paramatmavadi is undisturbed. He is equivocal towards all situations because he understands that it is Lord who is sanctioning everything. It is coming because of Lord's will, like that. So this when Puresha, of course, this is not exactly Paramatmavadi. This is directly devotee. Maybe we'll discuss first the devotee understanding. And so that's how the Paramatmavadi person, he remains calm even in the turbulent situations. He remains peaceful because he understands this everything is coming from Supreme Lord. And a devotee, Bhagwanvadi we can say, or devotee, what devotee understands, he recognizes is that everything is happening because of Krishna's kindness, his mercy. And that's why he increases his devotion for Krishna. So what is the verse? Tatenukampam sisamikshamano bhunjanaivatmatam vipakam tadvagvapurubhi vidadham namaste jive tayo mukti pade sadaya. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your cosmic mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reaction of his past misdeed and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So this is the vision of devotee. So we see that all these three types of transcendentalists, whether they are realizing Brahman or Paramatma or Bhagwan, they see equanimity and equality in everyone, but at their own level. But devotee's vision is the best vision because not only he sees equality, but he also sees that everything mercy of the Supreme Lord. And in this way, he increases his devotion towards the Lord with every situation. It may be favorable or it may be unfavorable. Both situations he uses to increase his devotion for the Lord. That's the vision of devotee. So such a person is Mukti Pade, is already liberated oneself, like that. So now a devotee, because he recognizes that everything happens is due to Krishna's kindness, so as he uses everything for devotion, that's why there is no wrong situation for devotee. Devotee के लिए कौन सा भी खराब situation है ही नहीं, because he sees everything as opportunity. So that's why devotee is opportunist. Opportunist means opportunist is generally negative term because जो मौके का फायदा उठाते हैं उसको बोलते हैं opportunist. But devotee is also opportunist. वो भी फायदा उठाते हैं हर एक चीज का. किसके लिए? For service of Krishna, for increasing his devotion for Krishna. So I think before we were discussing some other time that Yudhishthir Maharaj, when he was sent to forest, he saw, oh, it is very nice when we are engaged in kingdom, in politics and all, so much we are distracted. When we go to forest, we'll find some nice sages, we'll perform a lot of yajnas. It's such a wonderful life, and he was undisturbed even in that situation. So that's why even when they came, it is not that they were very much hankering for kingdom or something. They were happy with 5 villages also. So, and even when Yudhishthir Maharaj became king, still he was using all his opportunities to glorify Krishna, isn't it? He arranged whole Rasuya sacrifice. There was only one purpose of that Rasuya sacrifice. What was that? To put that, to make Krishna's Agra Puja and to show to the whole world that Krishna is the only worshipable object of everybody. To increase the fame, increase the glory of Krishna everywhere, propagate, broadcast the glory of Krishna. That was the only purpose of his life. So whether he was in the forest or he was on the throne, his purpose was this only: how to glorify Krishna, how to serve Krishna, how can I increase my devotion for Krishna. So that's the way of devotee. So so this, Prabhupada in the purport, he is telling that this equanimity of mind, such a equanimity of mind is the sign of self-realization. It's the sign of self-realization. So we can test how much self-realized we are based on how much we are equal. Generally, when there is happiness, we get very much elated. Yes, I got success. Yes, I got prosperity. We are very excited. And when there is a distress, we become depressed. Why this is happening to me? Why Krishna is so cruel to me? Like that. But the real self-realization means to see both the situations on an equal platform, remaining undisturbed in that. So we are all at different stages of equanimity. We see that certain situations do not affect us so much, but you know, for example, somebody who has got very healthy body, for him whether summer, winter, all right, because anyways he's quite healthy. But somebody has got a kapha body, as soon as rainy season comes, he starts, अरे tension आ जाते हैं उनको बहुत. Somebody has got vata body, उनको भी बहुत tension आता है rainy season में या winter season में, isn't it? So different people based on their different understandings, they are on different platforms of equanimity. But this is a taste. We can taste ourselves. So what is the importance of such equanimity? At such a stage, one is considered to have conquered material conditions, specifically of birth and death. One has conquered birth and death, such a person. So means although he is staying in this material world, but he will not be, punished by birth and death. Means what? This is his last life. He's going to go to spiritual world after this birth. So no more birth and death for him. There is no more rebirth for such a person. And also in the purport Prabhupada is making, such a person is flawless. Even in translation it is there, just like the Brahman or Supreme Lord. Just like Supreme Lord is flawless, similarly such a person is free from all the flaws. How? Because on the spiritual platform, one is free from all attraction and hatred, isn't it? So this makes the person eligible for the spiritual sky. So just like the Lord is free from the flaws, so similarly the living entity also, such a living entity becomes free from all the flaws. He has no flaws in himself, like that. So that's the effect of the having such equanimous mind. Okay, next verse, 20th verse.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have asked one question in chat.
Oh, is it?
This is Nayan.
Can you please elaborate how Supreme Lord is fulfilling all the desires of living entity regardless of their karmic reaction? Yes, because their desires are stored, and someday or other it will be fulfilled. I understood your question. Like for example, somebody wants to go to get into IIT, but he doesn't have karmic quota that much. But that doesn't mean that his desire is cancelled. No, desire is stored. When that person will accumulate that much pious credits, then he will get into IIT. But for that, he has to take next birth, or maybe next births, not one birth, many births, like that. So that's how desire of every living entity in this way is fulfilled. So although his karma, it may not be there, but it is registered. उनके रजिस्टर में लिखा रहता है भगवान के कि ये डिजायर किया था उन्होंने, अभी कभी ना कभी फुलफिल करना है उनको. तो जब उनका कोटा उतना हो जाता है तब दे देते वो. So we also don't remember that I had desired this, but suddenly we may say, why I'm getting this? Because we had desired it before, maybe 100 lifetimes back, maybe 5,000 lifetimes back, maybe 10 years back or something like that. But we may forget, but Lord remembers every desire and He will fulfill each. ठीक है, currently you don't have any, negative karma, so you will not suffer. Despite you keep on doing wrong activities, you will not suffer. But then your karma of, karmic reactions of wrong activities is increasing also. As soon as you complete those wrong activities, you get reactions for the suffering. So that's a wonderful arrangement of the Lord. Is that clear now?
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So please do understand that Lord never, makes living entity do a particular thing. That's a living entity his own initiative, like that. Yeah.
You see that one question. You gave example of somebody desired he wants to go to IIT. So he may go in human form or any other form.
He will go in other form also. Yeah, that is also possible. Of course, Lord understands he wants to go for studies, then he may go in next human form. So there are, Lord knows each and every minute detail also of every living entity. Somebody may say that I have desire of IIT degree, then he may go in human form. Somebody say I want to go, so he'll become a cow and go for grazing in IIT. That will also happen. Very true. Yeah.
If somebody has desired something material before becoming a devotee, so what about those desires?
This is a very important question. He's telling now, Prabhu, we are already desired so many things. Now also we are desiring. तो क्या होगा अभी सब fulfill हो जाएगा क्या हमारा? Fulfill नहीं ऐसा नहीं है. Lord create situation तो कर देंगे पर हमारे लिए. Opportunities will be created for us. So that time we have to be vigilant. No, I don't want now that. Like we desired, suppose I wanted to have American wife. Suppose just one example. Then Lord will present some girl to you in for some time or other in life. That some American girl will come in front of you and you may, she may like you also, but then that time you have to be, no, I don't want now, अभी नहीं चाहिए. So then that desire is cancelled now. So opportunities will present, but if you don't accept them, that desire is gone. Like that. Is that clear? So, similarly, somebody might have desired that I want to eat so much of meat, but now after becoming devotees, we don't want that. But then meat will come in front of us somehow or other. But then we'll say, no. So that desire is gone. Okay?
One more question. Here it is mentioned that one will conquer this condition of birth and death. You mentioned these three types: Brahmavadi, Paramatmavadi, and devotee. So these are all or only for devotees?
No, all will conquer. Because even Brahmavadi, when he merges into Brahman, there is no birth and death for him. Even Paramatmavadi, there is no birth and death for him. But not necessarily they'll go to spiritual world. They'll go to their own destinations.
But they will come eventually. They will come.
Only Brahmavadi will come. Paramatmavadi, depending on whether he becomes personalist or impersonalist. If he becomes personalist, he will go to spiritual world. So conquering birth or death. See, that period of Brahman being hanging in Brahman is also a very long period. It's lakhs and crores. Sometimes it are many lifetimes of Brahma one can stay in that Brahman. Yeah. It's not that 5 दिन के बाद वापस आ जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं होता है. 5 दिन में बोर नहीं होता है आदमी उधर. It is really great happiness actually there. One sense, such a relief is there. So it may one may even there. But this conquering birth and death applies to all. Brahmavadis also conquer birth and death, but their conquering birth and death is not permanent. That is only for time being. Later on again they will have to accept birth and death. And those who are yogis, if they become personalists, they go to spiritual world. Devotees go to spiritual world.
Hare Krishna.
Huh?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, bro.
Prabhuji, it is said that Krishna sees the intentions, right? So now for a pure devotee, they sometimes they desire to willingly suffer on behalf of other living entities, being compassionate to other living entities. So how do we understand this? I mean, whether Lord fulfills such desires of suffering of a pure devotee?
Means externally they may get sufferings, but internally they are ecstatic. That's what we are asking about Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. Yeah, externally he actually got cancer. As soon as he prayed to Mayapur in Prabhupada's Samadhi that I want to suffer on behalf of all living entities, he actually got cancer. Within few days only, he was detected with that melanoma cancer. And he was ecstatic, but when he got the news, he was not frustrated. He said, Kya Bhagwan, I did not mean it, I ऐसे ही बोल दिया, ऐसा थोड़ी था उनका. He was serious about it. And when he got the news, he was so ecstatic. And he said, Prabhupada fulfilled my desires. Prabhupada fulfilled my prayers. And throughout, he was very ecstatic. So he will not undergo sufferings. Of course, he will not undergo sufferings. Why? That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Vasudeva Datta. He said that, Vasudeva Datta said, if you consider all living entities to be very unqualified because of their sinful reactions, let me suffer in hell for rest of eternity for their sinful reactions, but let all these people go. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started crying. And he said, why you have to suffer? Krishna is so powerful. He can deliver everyone and you don't have to go to hell also. Like that. So, that's the way things are, So, see, don't think that Lord will cheat us, some way or other, Lord, we have to have this faith that Lord loves every soul extremely dearly. So he will never, put. In fact, he is very merciful by nature to everyone. Not that he is like a, what do you say, a smarta brahmana. कि ऐसे किया तो ऐसा होगा, वैसे किया तो वैसे ही होगा. Not like that. So Lord is very kind and very loving for everyone. So when any living entity desires to suffer for others' welfare, he will make him the king of the spiritual world practically. That's what Lord will award him. What to speak of, giving him anything here. So it's the Krishna is not a machine. He's a person, and he's very merciful and he's very loving person. It's not like a machine. इसमें आप इनपुट डालो तो ऐसा आउटपुट आ जाएगा. अगर जो अपना ये रहता है ना, ग्राइंडिंग मशीन, ग्राइंडिंग क्या बोलते हैं उसको, पल्वराइजर, जो उसपे आलू डाला तो आलू आता है बाहर, वो उसका पीसेस करके आता है. गाजर डाला तो गाजर आएगा, और सब्जी आएगा तो सब्जी आएगा बाहर. लॉर्ड का ऐसा मशीन नहीं है. he understands कि किसको कैसे देना है. He is a well-wisher, he is loving, and he is very merciful. That's the feature of the Lord. So things will happen according to that. Okay, so don't be afraid. Sometimes you will feel अगर मैंने pray कर दिया कि Lord, I want to suffer, the Lord सच में मुझे suffering दे देंगे क्या? Okay, go to next verse. Maybe one more verse will take. 20th verse.
न पश्येत् प्रियं प्राप्य
न प्ररुषेत् प्रियं प्राप्य
नो द्विजेत् प्राप्य चाप्रियम्
मोद्विजेत् चाप्यप्रियम्
स्थिरबुद्धिर् असम्मूढो
स्थिरबुद्धिरसम्मूढो
ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्मणि स्थितः.
ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्मणि स्थितः.
Translation: a person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the sign of God, is already situated in transcendence. Purport: the symptoms of the self-realized person are given herein. The first symptom is that he is not illusioned by the false identification of the body with his true self. He knows perfectly well that he is not this body but is the fragment portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is therefore not joyful in achieving something, nor does he lament in losing anything which is related to his body. The steadiness of mind is called sthira buddhi or self-intelligence. He is therefore never bewildered by mistaking the gross body for the soul, nor does he accept the body as permanent and disregard the existence of the soul. This knowledge elevates him to the station of knowing the complete science of the Absolute Truth, namely Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. He thus knows the constitutional position perfectly well without falsely trying to become one with the Supreme in all respects. This is called Brahman realization or self-realization. Such steady consciousness is called Krishna consciousness.
Yes. So in these verses, 20th and 21st verse, Krishna is explaining the symptoms of self-realized person. So we see that what are these symptoms? He is without desire or hatred, and his intelligence do not rejoice or lament. He is sharp in intelligence and unbewildered. That means he is fixed in self. So foremost symptom is there is no illusion or false bodily identification. That is the most important symptom of such a person who is self-realized. So this symptom is on the basis of not rejoicing, is the basis of not rejoicing. Why a person does not rejoice or lament? Because he understands this, I am not this body and spirit soul. So anyways, all the situations in this world are like, just a dream, different ways. So in this way, he doesn't become too much elated when there is happiness, and he doesn't become too much depressed when there is distress. So that's how when he's on spiritual understanding, he's free from bodily identification. If we are to the degree we are bodily attached, to that degree there will be effect of happiness and distress on us. To that degree there will be effect of victory and defeat on us. To that degree there will be effect of glorification and insult on us. So degree we are free from bodily platform, to that degree one will be equipoised in those situations. Then he also has sthira buddhi. Sthira buddhi means he has got steadiness of the mind. So he doesn't rejoice or lament for bodily relationships or achievements. So because he understands that I am just a fragmental part and parcel of Krishna. So I am eternally related to Krishna, and in no situation my relationship with Krishna can be destroyed. It is always eternally present. So with understanding this, he remains sthira buddhi. Then he is also unbewildered, because he never considers body to be permanent and himself to be temporary. You understand this? What is unbewildered means?
Body is
Body.
He never considers body as permanent and himself as temporary. Means himself as spirit soul. So nasato vidyate bhava na bhavo vidyate satah ubhayor api drishtantas tanayas tattvadarshibhi. This is in second chapter we discussed. Such a person understands that those who are material things, they are never going to endure for eternity. They are going to change and will be vanquished one day or another. Those who are spiritual things, they are never going to be vanquished. They are going to always remain for eternity. So this is his conviction. That's why he is unbewildered. So Gurujan Pro writes in his commentary that a devotee, sadhaka, practicing devotee should also attempt to act in this way. So he should also understand that when there is, so such behavior is a symptom of Siddha devotee, although Prabhupada is mentioning that it is the behavior of a Siddha devotee, but at the same time, devotee should not say that, oh, I am not Siddha anyways, but we should try to, attempt, we should make an attempt to try to act in this way. So one should not identify with the transformations of subtle body. What are transformations of subtle body? Same happiness, distress, these are all transformations of subtle body. That type of things, feelings are experienced in subtle body. And one should not identify with them too much. So such a person, because he is not bewildered by what happens to him, but instead he sees everything as Krishna's mercy, he does not become entangled in matter. Such a person remains aloof from the matter, karmic reactions. So when a devotee undergoes this, when he becomes very nicely situated, or when something, there is some cause of great joy for him, then he should not become too much excited, nor she should become puffed up because of the success or because of achievements. He should neither become puffed up nor become too much excited. Similarly, when there are unfavorable situations, he should not become too much depressed, or he should not become too much morose. Similarly, when there is glorification, a devotee should not take it too seriously. So actually, these are different ways different people take glorifications. Those who are Shudras, when they are glorified, they become very puffed up. That's why it is said that Shudras should never be glorified. They should be given some remuneration and sent away. So because Shudras become very proud by glorification. Vaishyas are neutral. उनको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, ग्लोरीफाई करो ना करो, पैसा है क्या, अपना फायदा है क्या, बस वो देखते हैं. Kshatriyas are inspired by glorification. They get, उनको glorify करेंगे तो they'll work with further vigor, और अच्छे से काम करेंगे, उनको glorify करेंगे. Brahmana becomes humbled by glorification. Brahmana becomes humbled. More you glorify, more he thinks, oh, maybe I should do these things actually in my life. These are my expectations from me. Maybe people are expecting that I should be like this. That is Brahmana. And Vaishnava, he becomes grateful. Along with humility, he becomes grateful also. Oh, this devotee is so wonderful that he is seeing some good in me. Actually, I have so many faults, but he's neglecting all those faults and he's seeing something good in me. How wonderful he is, actually. His vision is so wonderful. That's why he's seeing something wonderful in me. In this way, he becomes very grateful. And humble, of course, he becomes humble also. So, that's how the different people will deal with different things. So that's why who is worthy of glorification? Actually, only Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. They are the only worthy of glorifications. And maybe to some extent Kshatriyas. If at all you want them to do some work, then they can be glorified also. Prabhu, आपने बहुत अच्छा मैनेजमेंट किया। अच्छा हाँ क्या करता और करता हूँ प्रभु जी, आप टास्क दे दो प्रभु जी, सब करूँगा। he will say like that, प्रभु जी कुछ भी बताओ मैं करें I'm just your servant only प्रभु जी, like that, because he is glorified, so he is inspired to do more and more. So that is also all right. So, but if you see the really the self-realized person, he doesn't become unnecessarily elated or puffed up because of glorification. He becomes, he has a very positive response. And similarly, when he's insulted, that time also he understands that it is all coming because of my past karma. So these people are like postmen who are delivering my own past karma to me. That's how he thinks. Like Avanti Brahman, how he tolerated insults. Or Rishabh Dev, King Rishabh Dev, they were unaffected by that. So in this way, this is such a great science, which no other person than a spiritualist, especially one who is a student of Bhagavad Gita, he can achieve in the world, because most of the people are being constantly battered by the waves of dualities in this world. But a devotee can rise above dualities by right understanding. That is very much possible for a devotee. Okay, so we would like to stop here for today. Now tomorrow at 11 o'clock, there is Sunday feast class by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. So I don't know what we should do then. Should we keep 10:15 to 11? Is that all right? Rohit Bro?
10 to 11. Maybe we can.
Huh?
10 to 11. 10 to 11. If you are okay.
The thing is that Prabodhanand Saraswati Maharaj class is also there in Bhagavatam.
9:15.
So it may end by 9:15 or so. So some at least 45 minutes gap or 1 hour gap should be there, I was thinking.
So some other time.
Oh, other time devotees will not be available. Afternoon and all, it becomes like different devotees have different schedules than afternoon. These devotees have fixed up this time, so that is better to give in this time. I think 10:15 to 11 is good enough tomorrow.
Okay, Braji.
Yeah. Because Bhakti Prabodhanand Saraswati Maharaj class also may go a little longer. In case it goes 9:45, then prasadam and all. Everybody has to take prasadam also, and they have to do some things. At least 1 hour gap should be there around. So 45 minutes to 1 hour gap is required. Fine. So all you can inform everyone that 10:15 to 11 will have 11 devotees can attend Jayapataka Maharaj class.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Just one question.
Thank you so much, Rohit.
You say you are practicing sadhaka should attempt to act in this way.
Hmm.
But in general, it's very difficult.
Yeah, we have to try. That's why we have to practice. We have to try doing this. It may be difficult, but that's what is the austerity. Na? Like when we are getting too much success, we should try to not be proud. We should think, oh, it's all Lord's mercy I am getting. So we have to cultivate that consciousness within ourselves. That effort we have to put on a subtle level. That to cultivate that type of consciousness, then it will be possible. But if you don't make any attempt only, that's why he's telling attempt. If you don't make attempts, then it will never happen. So attempts at least have to be done. We may not be successful always. We may become, sometimes we may still become proud. And we will not be successful. Then thoda Mayadevi thoda पिटाई भी करेंगे उसके बाद कि अरे ये ज़्यादा ही proud हो गया like that. But at least we should attempt. Then it will happen. Okay. Oh, nice darshan of Krishna Balram of Ujjain. Ajit Pro is giving us darshan of Krishna Balram on the occasion of Janma Balram Jayanti on Monday. No, you are not audible actually. I was
बहुत फोटो है वो, पर नेटवर्क स्लो है प्रो इधर, नेटवर्क इशू।
I can understand that. So this Krishna Balram of Vrindavan, they are 12 years old. Ujjain के पता नहीं, but Punjabi Bagh, they are 8 years old.
बच्चे लगते हैं राधिका रानी।
But that's what devotees say, that Vrindavan ke thode bade is not only in size. If you see their face and all, they are quite grown up Krishna Balram. Whereas it's not only depends on the size of the deity, it depends on how the deity is in general. On the other hand, like if you see Radha Gopal, they are like kids only, chote se arode ke. They are really, you can see that they are chote chote dono. But Vrindavan Chandra is like he's full blown youth in Kaishore age, isn't it? He's like
Gopinath,
Gopinath is also full youth.
really small, but
they're quite stout and they're like youthful. They are like just about to play Raslila now. They're on that way. Whereas राधा गोपाल के ऐसे लगता है कि चलो दोनों खेलने के लिए जा रहे शायद. राधा and Krishna, generally they don't play together, but still it is possible. So like that. So in that Punjabi Bagh temple, they are 8 years old. So they are also like about to go for playing.
राधिका रानी also very nice age.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.